Hello friends, this is Panisha from Food Tech Network. Today we are going to learn about question paper with solution of Food Analyst Exam MCQ Part 03. Before we start our session, I would like to request you all please do subscribe to our channel Food Tech Network. Thank you. So let's get started with question number 1. In all thermally processed fruit cocktail packages, it is mandatory to declare on the label option A drained weight, option B pictures of the fruits used in the product, option C packing medium along with its strength, option C all of the above. So the right answer is C, that is packing medium along with its strength. As per regulation, the fruit mixture may be packed with any suitable packing medium and processed by a heat in an appropriate manner before or after being sealed in a container so as to prevent a spoilage. The packing medium along with its strength when packed shall be declared on the label. Diacetyl, a flavor may be added to vanaspati exclusively meant for consumption by the option A school children, option B pregnant women, option C armed forces, and option D immunocompromised. So the C, that is armed forces. As per legal regulations, provided that diacetyl to the extent of not more than 4 ppm, it may be added to vanaspati ghee or vanaspati oil meant for the consumption by the armed forces, as well as the product shall conform to the following requirements. The trans fatty acids contained will be replaced. If the moisture content of whole wheat atta exceed the prescribed maximum level of 14%, then there is a tendency for option A extended shelf life, option B decreased shelf life, option C no change is visible, and option D none of the above. So the B, that is decreased shelf life. The moisture content of wheat flour impact the results of the test processes, as well as it is said that the moisture content up to the level of 14% is considered to be the fine, and it is also considered that the moisture content over 14% attracts the growth of mold bacteria and various insects. The test used to detect insect infestation, or you can say that it's a deterioration in cereals and their product is option A peroxidase test, option B Barfoed test, option C uric acid test, and option D Bodin's test. Option C, that is uric acid test. Uric acid test measurement of the all uric acids of infested grain will give an indication of the past insect infestation, which may have been concealed during processing. Number 5. The origin of animal meats are defined in the FSSR 2011 regulations can be either option A bovine and porcine, option B ovine and suine, option C caprine, and option D all of the above. So the right answer D, that is all of the above. Meat means all edible parts including edible skin, edible muscles of any food animal slaughtered in an abattoir that are intended for or have been judged as a safe and suitable for human consumption. The above mentioned options are just a species of animals. Question 6. Which among these food additives is not permitted for raisins under FSSR 2011 regulations? Option A is sulfur dioxide as a bleaching agent. Option B coloring matter. Option C artificial flavor. And option D all of the above. Is option B, that is coloring matter. As per regulation, it should be free from any added coloring matter and shall have uniform color stemmed except for the form of cluster resins, and resins may be bleached with sulfur dioxide. And the sulfur dioxide content of the bleached product shall not exceed 750 ppm. Question number 7. Methyl mercury and mercury are heavy metal for which there are prescribed limit under Food Safety Regulation 2011. Which instrument technique is most suitable to differentiate between the two analysts? Option A OES ICP, option B LC IRMS, option C LC ICP-MS, option D IC. So the correct answer is option D. As by means of ICP-MS, different valence states of arsenic as well as mercury in the form of inorganic as well as organic species can be sensitively and unambiguously identified in one single run. Number 8. An irradiation facility for the treatment of food must have option A licensed under atomic energy, option B carry out irradiation in accordance with the provision of atomic energy, option C both A and B, and option D FSSAI license. So the correct answer is C, that is both option A and B is correct. As per regulation, terms and conditions, no license for operating an irradiation facility shall be granted unless the applicant obtains a certificate of approval from the competent authority as well as after submitting the documents as specified in Schedule 3 to the effect that the facility is in a conformity with the general conditions for design, operation, and efficiency criteria as specified in Schedule 5. Question number 9. Neotem, an artificial sweetener, is permitted for use only option A chocolates, option B carbonated beverages, option C dried ice cream mixes, option C frozen desserts. So the right B, that is carbonated beverages, or you can say that it's a soft drink. Neotem is a derivative of aspartame. FSSAI recommends the use of neotem in a soft drinks only. It is permitted at a maximum limit of 33 ppm or 33 parts per million. Question 10. Which of these following statement is incorrect about the compound ingredient? Option A. If any of the ingredient is itself a product of two or more ingredients, such compound ingredient must be listed and in brackets the composition of its ingredient. Option B. If the compound ingredient constitute less than 5% of the food and the list of ingredient of the compound ingredient other than food additives need not to be declared. Option C, a compound ingredient need not to be declared if it constitute a less than 5% of the total. And option D, the ingredients of the compound ingredient must be in a descending order of the weight. C, that is a compound ingredient need not to be declared if they constitute less than 5% of the total. It's an incorrect answer. As per regulatory advices, this 5% rule does not apply to any of the additives or allergen, including if they are a part of compound ingredients. This must be listed no matter how small amount is present in the final product. Question 11. Which of the following is the best definition of flowchart? Option A diagram used to structure ideas into useful categories. Option B, an illustration used to analyze the variation in a process. Option C, a picture used to separate steps of process in a sequential order. Option D, an analytical tool used to clarify opposing aspects of desired changes. C, a picture used to separate a step-by-step process in a sequential order. The flowchart is a picture of the separate step of a sequential order process. It is a generic tool that can be adapted for a wide variety of purpose, and it can be used to describe various processes such as manufacturing process, administrative services, and project planning. Question 12. The storage area of the traceable standard must maintain proper control of its environment in order to option A facilitate proper performance of calibrators, option B ensure a peak performance of the test instruments, option C control humidity to be less than 20%, and option D maintain a temperature of 25 plus minus 1 degree Celsius. So the correct answer is B, that is, it ensures the peak performance of the test instrument just to maintain the quality standards. Question number 13. The extent to which an instrument replicates its results when measurements are taken repeatedly on the same unit is called option A real bias, option B precision, option C accuracy, and option D true value. So of course the right answer B, that is precision. The degree to which identical results are obtained from repeated measurements made in the same conditions is referred as a question number 14. Which of the following functions are served by process audits? Option A to identify low performing employees. Option B to ensure standardized quality practice. Option C to develop a corrective action. And option D to find non-compliant products. So the right B, just to ensure the standardized quality practice. The process audit may target to check the conformance to define the requirement such as time, accuracy, temperature, pressure, composition, amperage, and component of mixture. Candela is the international system of units measure for an objects called option A ambient temperature, option B amount of substance, option C amount of mass, and option D luminous intensity. So the right D, that is luminous intensity. The candela is the base unit of luminous intensity in the international system of units. Luminous intensity emitted by a point light source in a particular direction per unit. Solid angle is expressed in terms of candela. 16. Imported food samples are sent to NABL accredited laboratories when the samples are retested. Option B, the samples are tested for the second time. Option C, the samples are tested and the imported challenges the lab reports. Option D, the samples are tested for the first time. D, that is, when we first time test the sample, we have to send those samples to NABL accredited labs just to maintain the integrity and authenticity of the products. Question number 17. Forting aims to option A ensure availability of the wholesome food. Option B train at least one person in a food business just to ensure the food safety. Option C train street food vendors online. And option D lay down standards for the food storage and distribution. So the right answer B, that is train at least one person in a food business just to ensure the food safety and its integrity. to train the personnel involved in supervising the food handler who are in a direct contact with the food material, just to demonstrate and facilitate requirements of hygiene and sanitary practices to the food handlers in a food processing industry, to maintain a culture of food safety and bring a behavioral changes in the food handler. These are the main objectives of the FOSTEC trainees or FOSTEC system. An interlaboratory comparison program can be used for which of the following purpose? Option A, create a data collection procedure for the laboratory. Option B, establish intervals for monitoring measurement equipments. Option C, assess a laboratory's competency to perform the test. And option D, audit the laboratory's testing capabilities. C, to assess a laboratory's competency to perform the test. Interlaboratory comparisons are undertaken to verify the laboratory provides a correct result within the stated measurement uncertainty. The IAEA offers this service to members of the WHO network of secondary standard dosimetry laboratories. Which of the following instrument is the used to measure ambient dust level in the laboratories? Option A, air velocity meter. Option B, air quality meter. Option C, optical particle counter. And option D, optical air data sensor. Option D, that is optical air data sensor. It is handheld laser optical particle counters and dust particle measuring device for measuring the concentration of particles in the air as well as to measure the ambient dust level in the air. The dust particle measuring device, it measures six sizes of particles like zero point 0.3 micron, 0.5, 1 micron, 2.5, 5 and 10 micron. The ISO standards, which number in the thousands, are published by option A, Codex Alimentaries, option B, Food and Agriculture Organization, option C, International Standards and Organization, option D, International Organization for Standardization. So D, that is International Organization for Standardization. As 30th January 2024, the International Organization for Standardization, which is known as ISO, has published 25,176 international standards. 21. The property of the results of measurement or the value of standard whereby it can be related to the stated reference, usually national or international standards, through an unbroken chain of comparison, all having stated uncertainties, is called option A, chain of custody, option B, traceability, option C, compatibility, and option D, none of the above. So the B, that is traceability. Traceability is the property of the results of measurement where it can be related to the stated reference, usually national or international standards, and through a documented unbroken chain of comparisons. All have stated uncertainties. Question number 22. Which of the following has the strongest influence on the variation of laboratory air density? Option A, electromagnetic reference. Option B, humidity. Option C, mass. Option D, volume. So B, that is humidity. As per standard, air density like air pressure decreases with increasing altitude. It also changes with variation in atmospheric pressure, temperature and humidity. 3. 1:10 dilution of E. coli is made by aseptically adding 1 ml of the bacteria to the 9 ml of buffered peptone water. The 1 ml is measured using a option A, class A pipette, option B, class B pipette, option C, class A sterile pipettes, and option D, none of the above. So the right answer is option A, that is a sterile pipette. As we all know that the dilution is performed using a sterile pipette in a sterile. Question 24. The CAS registry number of chemical is option A, rating of toxicity, option B, unique identifying number for each chemical, option C, rating of flammability, and option D, none of the above. So the right answer is option a unique identifying number for each chemical. CAS registry number is a unique and ambiguous identifier for a specific substance that allows clear communication with the help of CAS scientists and link together all the available data and research about that substance. 25. The quality standards for the laboratory accrediting body in India, National Accreditation Board for Testing and Calibration Laboratory, New Delhi, is option A ISO 9001, option B ISO 15189, option C ISO 17011, and option D none of the above. So the right answer is that is none of the above. In order to achieve this objective, NABL provides laboratory accreditation services to laboratories that are performing calibrations in accordance with the NABL criteria based on the internationally accepted standards for laboratory accreditation, that is ISO 17025, which is known as a general requirement for the competence of testing and calibration laboratories. For 26, a Class A fire extinguisher can be used to treat fires involving dash as a fuel sources. Option A, ordinary combustible, that is wood, plastic, etc. Option B, electrical equipment. Option C, combustible metals, and option D, combustible liquids or flammable liquids. So definitely the right, that is ordinary combustibles. Paper, wood, clothes, some plastic comes under the ordinary combustible solid particles. Question number 27. The first artificial sweetening agent used in a food was option A saccharine, option B cyclamate, option C aspartame, option D sucralose. So the A, that is sucralose. The first artificial sweetener that was popular on a commercial scale is saccharin. Saccharin. So the saccharin was produced by a Konstantin Fellberg in 1879. So definitely the right answer is saccharin. 28. Jam, jellies and fruit preserve can be preserved by adding a sugar at a concentration of at least option A 65%, option B 70%, option C 40%, and option D 30%. So the right answer is A, that is 65%. In jams, jellies, and preserve, a concentrated sugar solution of at least 65%, not more than that, is necessary to perform this function. Since the sugar content naturally present in fruits and the juices is less than 65%, it is essential to add a sugar to raise it to this concentration in jellies and preserves. Question number 29. Which of the following set of gases composition is controlled during controlled atmospheric storage? Option A, oxygen plus nitrogen. Option B, carbon dioxide plus nitrogen. Option C, C2H4, that is methane plus nitrogen. And option D, carbon dioxide plus oxygen. So the right answer is option carbon dioxide plus oxygen. Controlled atmospheric storage refers to the constant monitoring and adjustment of the CO2 and O2 level within the gas tight stores or containers. Now the last question. Which of the following method is a quick test for sugar content during the early stage of brewing process for beer? Option A, hydrometry. Option B, Babcock test. Option C, wet etching. Option D, soft lead extraction. So the right answer, that is hydrometer method of hydrometry. A hydrometer is for use in any wine, beer, or cider making situations. In terms of brewing beer, wine, and cider, the hydrometer measures the amount of dissolved brewing sugar in the recipe. If you notice the amount of sugar going down, fermentation is working and the alcohol is increasing. So friends, thank you for watching this video. If you have any kind of questions or any kind of some problems or like a solution based questions, you can just drop your message, just put your comment on the inbox. We will definitely get back to you with your requested queries and we requested with your topics. So thank you so much. Stay tuned, stay connected for more information.